only 2 minutes away from the kickoff for the 1998 AFL Grand Final.
You have to keep your eyes open in the back of your head too for the changes. Surely Malcolm Blight will have some sort of surprise at the start of the match.
The surprise probably is
there'll be no surprises.
Mark Bickley and Wayne Carey about to execute the toss.
Double jeopardy.
As North Melbourne in a huddle towards the the scoreboard end, and the Crows at the punt road end.
Who are you going for, Graham? Who's your tip?
I'm not picking. I've tipped the draw. I'm staying with it.
Russ?
Tipped the draw.
Crows.
And we wait for the toss. Wayne Carey has won the toss.
They'll score both ends,
towards the punt road end. Wayne Carey's won the toss and will kick towards the punt road end. So first blow there to the Roos.
In each of the previous games, in the under-18s and the reserves, good scores were kicked at both ends, and in the warm-up they were kicking easily from outside of 50 from both ends. So just that swirly win, but scoring capable at both ends of the ground.
And I'm sure, Russell, you and Graham will pick up the respective matchups and anything that happens off the ball.
We'll just go and speak to Dennis and to Malcolm, and they'll give us those matchups there, and there'll probably be 20 changes in the first quarter.
And Adelaide's interchange players looks like it could be as named. There's Ben Marsh, Andrew Eccles, Connell and Mark Stevens. So their interchange players are as named. There's no surprises there. Capuano coming off. Freeborn
and Allison.
Yep. Last chance for some of these North Melbourne players. There's about 3 or 4 who are the wrong side of 30.
Also, Graham, I think the Crows will have a close look at their list. They were nice to the premiership players of 1997. I think they'll have a real look at their complete squad this year.
Now, Pittman would appear as though he's going forward, Graham.
Well, that's how they started last week, and it seemed to work. But Matthew Robinson centre-half forward, but no one else wants to go forward.
McLeod
at half-back or starting at half-back?
No, I think he might just be running off the half-back line.
Now he's moving.
He'll just run through Jarman in the square. Costa in the square. Goodwin starting in the square.
Mark Rashudo at full forward for the Crows. Tyson Edwards in the pocket. No real surprise. Brady James on a half-forward flank, and Andrew McLeod now just running down to be picked up by Robert Scott. And they don't like each other already. There's pushing and shoving and elbowing. So it is just beautiful.
Okay, there's the siren to start the big one, the 1998 Grand Final between the Crows and North Melbourne.
Martin Pike gets centre-half forward.
The bounce down. Wren taking on McKernan. Up the big men go. McKernan hands the football. Taken by Costa. Dispossessed. Back to Corey McKernan. Had an airy. Taken by Abrahams. Swings onto the right boot. Back towards centre-half forward. Carey's taken the mark. Carey in front of Cavendish mark. Outside 50. Carey goes long. Up towards full forward. The pack forms there. Pushing and shoving Bickley off. Hands to Hart. Grabbed on the occasion by Shoal. The umpire says no. The ball was being held to Benny Hart, and it bounced out about a metre away from the North Melbourne goal, going towards the front right in. Graham Torres.
Well, a good start for Wayne Carey. He was McKernan in front of
and Abraham.
Cave and just out-muscled him.
Bounced down again, forced through, hits the post halfway at first score of the game, and it goes to North Melbourne. On the Foodland scoreboard, they are 1 point, and Adelaide yet to score. Gee, that took about 20 seconds for that ball to get to Wayne Carey.
Yeah, and their big guns touching the ball there. McKernan in the centre. Abraham's got it free and down to Carey.
Now McLeod has gone for the quick kick goes to Bickley in the back pocket. Standing the mark there is Harvey. Bickley brings it grandstand, the old members side. Up towards Roberts. Roberts held his ground, couldn't take it. Abraham is second possession. Tackle though, good tackle too. Roberts goes in, wrapped up by Smart. James comes in late, bounced down.
Yeah, Scott went forward and choppy Byron Pickett went across to pick up McLeod, but they're just making that interchange back there now with Scott going back onto McLeod.
Mickey Martin out to Robrin.
Yeah, Martin's come out to Robrin, and Jason McCartney's gone to pick up David Pittman.
Fiveaa football, thanks to Adelaide's Channel 7. The ball with McKernan, centre wing. Bombs a long one up towards full forward. Shoal gained up at 200, but Carey! Carey over the back, took a tremendous mark. His second for the day. Ominous signs already. Wayne Carey over Caven.
Yeah, Shoal went up early and almost just a blind to block for Carey coming over the back, and terrific mark there for Wayne Carey.
Well, he's had a big year, Wayne Carey. 79 goals, in he comes, 40 metres out directly in front, leans back, it's a shocker. He's missed. North Melbourne have the early horrors with a goal kicking. Second point on the scoreboard. It goes to North Melbourne. They lead 2 points. Adelaide yet to score.
I've got to say, Malcolm Blight will be very closely watching this matchup, Caven and Carey. It hasn't started well. Carey basically uncontested in those first two grabs.
Yeah,
But
Peter
let him
Caven
settle.
just has to sacrifice his game and block Carey out if that's possible.
Jarman goes short, finds Hart, tucked away in the back pocket. Comes towards the members' side, centre wing, in front Wren, at the back Roberts, taken by Abraham, getting a few possessions early, bangs it back towards full forward Joel, Hart off hands, into the pocket, Jarman's in there, or a hard taxi, watch it, a high tackle, and a free kick will be taken by the North Melbourne side, tucked away in the pocket, it's Harvey with the free kick. So North Melbourne into attack in the first 3 minutes, he goes short. And goes on this occasion to Blake.
It was a shocking free kick.
Wasn't a lot in that one either, Ken. It was a bit soft early.
Disgraceful free kick.
And Blakey now with the mark. 45-degree angle will get the distance. It's been all North Melbourne in the first 3 minutes of this first quarter. Fiveaa football, he's going to bring it back. I think that's the first major. Wait on the goal umpire. Comes back inside and said it's home. So North Melbourne on the Foodland scoreboard. North Melbourne are 1-8. Adelaide yet to score. This is Fiveaa footy.
Yeah, well, a bit of a soft free there. Darren Jarman was just there to claim Harvey. He knew that he was going to get the ball, just went to claim him, and the umpire has deemed it high. His arm probably went over his shoulder in the tackle, but pretty soft, and Harvey got over to Blakey running down, and Blakey has kicked the first goal for North Melbourne.
Surprised Mickey Martin's picking up Robin too. Now McCartney's gone on to Pittman in the square.
I like that a lot better because I believe Robin can run Martin around, and he doesn't like space behind him.
Good start by the Kangaroos. They lead by 8 points. Bang goes the ball again in the centre, jumping early as always. McKernan. Wren got the tap, picked up on that occasion by Tyson. A high kick up towards half forward. The bouncing ball, Scott in front of McLeod. That's his shadow all day. So Robert Scott, who's played in 3 or 4 grand finals, chip short to Pike, and Pike marks at centre wing. They look good, the Kangaroos, early. Martin Pike runs close towards Smart, the man on the mark, up towards Carey again. He had 3 to beat, he couldn't do so. And the discipline fist came from behind. It goes out of play about 60 metres out for the Kangaroos' goal.
Yeah, a lot of the North Melbourne important players are getting possessions, and Martin Pike, to his credit, got a lot fitter this year, and Dennis Pagan is using running on the ball or across centre.
The margin 8 points. North Melbourne lead. Roberts plucked the ball out of the air, then ran into his own teammate. Here's a chance now for the Kangaroos again through Bill. Bill chipped short up towards centre half forward. Carey waited behind Caven. Goes off his knee and out of bounds, this time right on the 50. And the breeze, although North Melbourne won the toss, not a lot to worry about. You can score, as Russell said, at both ends. 1-8 North Melbourne, Adelaide yet to score.
Throw in on the 50 for North Melbourne. Fiveaa football. Big Rennie trying to thump it away, taken by Stevens. Doesn't cover much territory, goes to Goodwin. The left foot kick back towards the centre. Robin pushed under the football, gets it cleverly. Opportunity for James. Oh, gee whiz. Pickett does it well. Gets the football this way. Back handballs back to Mickey Martin.
Got to be a free to Pickett.
Free kick. What was that for goodness sake?
Yeah, in the back.
Pickett free kick outside the 50. Puts him now inside the 50. Looks up for Carey. With him is Caven. Caven pushed away. Back towards this occasion. Harvey towards goal. Up towards the boundary line. It goes out of play.
Good
and
pressure.
the throw-in will take place in the full forward pocket for North Melbourne, who have done all the attacking in the opening moments of this first quarter. We're almost 6 minutes in.
The umpire certainly let that man handling of the centre half forward. We saw it last week with Robin, and we're seeing it again with Carey, but good pressure by the Crows' defence.
Boundary thrown again. McKernan tried to pluck the ball out of the air. Almost a kick forward by Pike. He was collared. The quick handball was all blue and white jumpers show. Game number 200 back towards Carey. He can't quite get there. Bounces once and goes out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Right full forward pocket for North Melbourne.
Yeah, some of the matchups are interesting. Abraham's on the wing on Peter Vardy. Jarman, of course, is being taken by Blakey. Kim Costa has got the job of tagging Peter Bell, who's been very dangerous.
And Shane Ellen on Mark Roberts.
Boundary throw in again. Tap forward by Wren, taken by Roberts, the man Russell mentioned. Chips in short, second attempt, almost taken there. It's Pike around the body. He goes up towards the head of the square. Oh, McKernan, he crashed the pack and might have hurt himself as well. Abraham gets out of handball. They're running right at the moment. It comes to show from Harvey. They might have their second goal on the board. Wait on it. They haven't. It's 1-3 North Melbourne making all the play. Adelaide get to score. Foodland scoreboard.
Under the pump their defence, Graham.
Under the pump, but they haven't hurt Adelaide enough on the scoreboard yet. Adelaide haven't been forward into their 50, I'd say. Well, not once.
Not once. The Kangaroos have been in 6 times.
They've just got to withstand this pressure here for this first 8 or 9 minutes.
Jarman goes short, finds Caven. Caven now looks for options further lead. Costa is there. Which way is he going to go? goes short.
This will settle him down.
Kane Johnson's his target. Finds him more. Johnson to Costa. Costa on the half-back flank. They're working the ball out of defence, the Crows. You heard Billy Hodges said on the stats here, we haven't been inside our 50. Stats thanks to Harris, Scarf and Pulse, but to Costa looking for options further afield. Not many forthcoming, I can tell you. Caven gets back there. Can't take the grab. Ball to ground. Chance for Wren. The handball was smothered. They come away. North Melbourne opportunity now for Archer. Archer back into the middle. Scott's the player. Takes the mark on the defensive side of centre. Oh, the kick finds Stevens. They look on him as they really do up towards full forward. They go. Show hard. Show almost the mark. Ball to ground. Hard with the football. Tackle by Harvey. They throw bodies over the footy. And the umpire says, I'm going to have a bounce down. Inside
Good
50
courage.
for North Melbourne. Terrific courage.
Terrific courage by Mark Bickley. Then he knew he had to back in there to block a pathway there. Terrific courage from the Crows skipper.
I think Blighty might have to get Mark Rashudo onto the ball soon. He's been stuck in their squares. We see Ben Hart just kick it in more in hope than anything else. Getting back Abraham.
He's had
Good
4
start.
or 5 touches.
How many possessions there, Billy Hodges? Abraham
Coming in for his third kick, 5th possession.
doesn't waste any time. A long kick up towards full forward. Out they comes. Smart and Pike. Comes to Big Wren, who waited prop. Scholl gets him high. Umpire said play on. Grant tried to go off the ground. He comes back to Scholl. Bell wraps up in a good tackle there. The Crows defend it. And finally Hart finds Ellen. So Shane Ellen, who kicked 5 goals in last year's grand final, up towards McLeod. McLeod did it well. Spins out of a tackle. This is better, Adelaide. Up towards centre half forward they go. Out they come. Simpson and Rashudo. They both go to ground. Tight in the packs there at centre half forward. Now a chance for North Melbourne. This occasion it's a kick forward by Scott. Up towards Roberts. Roberts couldn't mark it, but competed very well. Some heavy body work there by Jarman. It ends up with King. King with pace. Wobbles it up towards full forward. Clean bowl, Smart. Pike can pick it up and goal, but he doesn't pick it up and go. He kicks it out of bounds.
The Crows are doing all right.
Pocket.
This is what grand final pressure is all about. They've withstood the pressure. North Melbourne going forward repeatedly, but the Crows' defence has lifted and just holding on. If they could just rebound and get a goal to steady.
Throw in. Into attack, North Melbourne, ball to ground, charge for Stevens. Goodwin does it well, but towards the boundary line, paddles it towards the line that eventually goes out of play, outside the 50 for North Melbourne on the Foodland scoreboard. North Melbourne 139, Adelaide yet to register a score. Throw in, 98 fans here at the MCG, the 1998 AFL Grand Final on 5AA football. It's punched back towards, on this occasion, Caven, picked up by Carey. Carey towards goal, smothered by Caven. Terrific stuff. Spills out towards Wren. Wren to Caven from the half-back flank. Back towards centre wing. Good kick. Finds Tyson Edwards. Edwards now centre wing out of side. In front of the Great Southern stand. Bangs it back to Robin Gosar. Can't take the mark. The ball spills. A challenge for Barney. Grabs it under the leg.
Good
Breaks
pace.
away. Kicks up towards centre half forward. Rashudo takes it. The handball's a great one. The shocking kick off the side up towards full forward. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full, and a free kick will be taken by McCartney. This has been played at terrific pace.
Yeah, the Crows have settled now, though. They're just getting the ball, and all of them just about have had a touch now. They just needed that goal there on the rebound.
Wonderful build up there by the Crows. So North Melbourne go long. McKernan stretched high and took a very good mark in front of the pack. He's come back to form in the final series. Goes out wide looking for Stevens. Darren Jarman. An Aussie home loan mark of the day. Did it beautifully. Now they're running through Goodwin. Back towards centre half forward. Robin had 2 to beat. Waiting down was Tyson Edwards. He had the legs retarded. Now North Melbourne can clear. It was Bell. Bell works it back towards the centre. Johnson stopped, waited, tried to sling out a handball and did to Vardy. He's supported by Bickley. Out they come. Rashudo in front. The kick was good. You heard it from behind. And Mark Rashudo, first clean position, will kick for a goal from 52 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
He's just a fraction too far out too. He's not confident of kicking. They've got to use that space there in front of the goals, but I think he'll have a shot or to the head of the square.
Well, if he can kick a goal, they're only 3 points behind.
That's
It's been all North Melbourne.
The bruise at his back appears by the flags on the scoreboard.
They were kicking him from here in the warm-up, so he'll give it a ride.
First possession to Rashudo.
Our first kick, 1 hand pass.
Stats thanks to Harris, Scarf and Pulse. Billy Hodges there waiting now for Rashudo. Lines up, leans back. It's a long bomb. A real projectile on that occasion. He's missed to the left-hand side. Adelaide's first score on the Foodland scoreboard. It's 9 plays 1. North Melbourne lead.
See, that's not a good matchup from Dennis Pagan's point of view. Adam Simpson on Mark Rashudo.
King kicks off, goes back towards the half-back flank. Martin couldn't take them up. Spills out a charge now for Tyson. Comes back inside. McLeod goes bang up towards full forward. Punched away. Ball to ground. Straight from the legs of Darren Jarman. Picked up by Pickett. Goes to King from the half-back flank. Has a bounce. The kick's a shocker. Back into the middle. But they'll get away with it. Taken by McCartney. Wobbles a kick back towards half-forward. Coming out Harvey. The handballsman got the football. Goes now to Carey. This looks dangerous. Up towards full forward. The chase is on. Shoal and Hart. Shoal in front. Being harassed beautifully by Kenny Hart. Does it cleverly. Almost at the area. Goes in the second time. Picks it up. Comes short to Barney. Abraham.
Is he having a quarter?
Takes the mark. Goes in short. Up towards Hart. Great mark by Pickford. That is sensational going. Goes back on St. Kaysen to Ellen. Ellen now goes out wide. There's an opportunity for Tyson. Tyson from the half-back flank, Will.
Long kick too. It goes about 60 metres. Robin tried to work his way to the front. Couldn't do so. Pittman might be playing the mark. It has been. Gives it to Darren Jarman. On the left boot. Out they come again. James couldn't quite take it. They go to ground. Thumps it forward. Desperate stuff there. Rashido to Robin. And Robin has missed.
Give it another kick. He gets another kick.
Another kick.
It was tripped.
Well, he missed it, or did he hit the post?
Hit the post, so he's going back.
Well, it's got to come
He's going
back.
to give him another kick.
It's an Adelaide free. The ball's coming back to
Mark Rashido, by the looks, to have a set shot.
Well, here's a real chance for Adelaide. They just regained their momentum in the last few minutes, just regained a bit of poise. And you mentioned that matchup with Simpson, though. That's the way they went last time, and Simpson did a good job on him, Graham.
It's not going to work today. You've got Archer on Brett James, which is a mismatch. Surely the change is not that we want that to happen.
Just keep it quiet,
Gee, Mick Martin on Matthew Robin
not
too.
good either.
No,
So,
it isn't.
The ball with Rashido. Had a big night Monday, fourth in the Brownlow. Leans back. What's he done? I think he's kicked a goal. He's kicked the first goal for the Crows. Up back in town. It's 1-3-9. Adelaide are 1-1. The margin 2 points on the Foodland scoreboard.
They've withstood a lot of pressure from North Melbourne. They've withstood it very, very well. In fact, North Melbourne, with a number of their kicks, one there from Abraham, one from Pike earlier, have shown that they have the nerves there. The Crows have withstood a lot of pressure there and now have registered a goal.
On the Foodland scoreboard, North Melbourne 139, Adelaide 117.
And Mark Bickley, you can put that goal down to Mark Bickley, the courage to mark that ball in front of opposition players and travelling at 100 mile an hour. Sensational leadership effort.
A bounce down, back in the middle, up high goes Pittman on this occasion. Ball to ground, Costa's in there, tries to take the ball away. Can't do so, and the umpire says it's my ball.
David Pittman's having a run on the ball. Sean Wren's gone to full forward. Big Jason McCartney picking him up.
15 minutes into the first quarter of the 1998 AFL Grand Final. Can the Crows make it back-to-back premierships? There's the bounce down, long way to go. Stolen this occasion by Bickley. Kicked it up towards half forward. Archer comes through, bangs it back towards half forward. Bouncing football, bounces straight into Caven's hand. Over the top to Smart.
Bounces starting to go the Crows' way.
James back to Caven. Great running by Caven. Go big pussy up towards full foot. Ball to ground. They can't take the mark. Martin's in there. Goes the long handball towards the safety of the boundary.
Oh, there's a change.
A little bit of
There's a change coming over this game, boys. There is Peter Caven getting a lucky bounce and rebounding well, and
Mick Martin missed the mark there.
Long way to go. The throw in. Crows into attack. McCartney with a thump away. McLeod with him to Scott. Scott goes towards the safety of the line. The throw in once again. The Crows into attack towards the scoreboard end alongside the behind post. North Melbourne 139. Adelaide 117 on the Foodland scoreboard. The throw in really tries to get the ball away. James is there. What's the free kick has been paid. It'll go the way of McCartney in defence for North Melbourne against Sean Wren.
McCartney doesn't waste any time. Now they run out from the back pocket. Do it well to Blakey. Blakey brings it grandstand side. You look for McKernan, also Pittman, but the wind holds up the ball. You might be right, KG. North Melbourne might be going into a slight breeze.
I think they are.
And finally the ball's run out by Anthony Stevens.
It's swirly out there.
I don't think it makes any difference.
No,
really. It's
not here.
Probably the prevailing wind is going to North Melbourne's end, but it gets caught up in the stands.
2 point ball game. Fiveaa football thanks to Adelaide's Channel 7. North Melbourne lead by the slender margin. Picked up by Anthony Stevens. Around the body he goes. Up went Johnson and Grant, but it ends up with Roberts. Roberts puts it up towards the only two players in Hart and Shoal. Hart lost it but somehow regained it. He's a balanced player. Hart and also Scholl. Scholl tries to pick it up. He's pressured. He's harassed. He feeds it out to Carey. Caven tries to wrap him up. It was a good tackle. The ball spins out towards the boundary line. Desperate stuff on the far side and finally goes over and out.
They've got all that room in the North Melbourne forward line, and Craig Scholl, who's a great player, Benny Hart is matching him wherever he goes. It's a good match-up by Malcolm Blight, and Caven's just tightening up on Carey.
What a year he's had, Hart. Smart from the side, punches it back towards Tyson on this occasion. King's there too, so too Shannon Grant. He got it back to Bill, who hooks it around the body. Standing his ground there was Johnson, couldn't quite complete the mark. A chance for Adelaide now, the crowd calling, holding the ball. It ends up with Costa, who he's met solidly there. And the ball goes out of bounds on the far side.
David King's just starting to throw his weight around a little bit. It's not going to do much.
Well, it's a grand final. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, but...
it's good signs and a bit of frustrations coming into it.
Yep.
Thrown outside the 50 for North Melbourne, 139, Adelaide 117, Fiveaa football, Pippin to the back, gets it down, opportunity though for Bell, kicks it back towards half forward, the tackle was too high, and it'll be a free downfield, it'll go the way of Abraham, a relayed free kick comes to Abraham, he comes across, oh gee whiz, there's a chance for Simpson kicks towards goal, I think it looks okay, it is at home.
That's the balance-up goal that Rushudo kicked the other.
Second, North Melbourne go to 2-3, which is 15, Adelaide 117 on the Foodland scoreboard.
Well, there was a lack of discipline really. Mark Rushudo's attack on Peter Bell, he just whacked him around the head as he got rid of it. That created the free after disposal, and you've got to be physical and strong, but in a situation like that where you can't win, discipline is what's most important, and that just handed North Melbourne that goal.
And then Mark Rushudo didn't pick up with Simpson running down the ground too, and that's balanced up. The goal that Mark Rushudo kicked for the Crows has now been balanced by the one kicked by Simpson.
Vardy's gone to the forward pocket, Tyson Edwards on the wing.
The margin 8 points, McKernan, also Pittman. Pittman got a forceful punch back towards centre half forward, overrunning the footy there with Tyson. Free kick North Melbourne. It'll go the way of Bell. So Peter Bell has had a stellar year. Really has been a handy pickup since coming across from the Dockers. Works it back towards the McKernan direction. Up they go. Smart couldn't quite take it. Shannon Grant rode the crumps beautifully. Back towards Smart and Pike. So who's tagging who there? Smart tries to break a tackle. It ends up on this occasion with Harvey around the body. And it goes out of bounds right full forward pocket.
Yeah, very difficult situation for the Crows defenders across half back because they know they have to go up and spoil, but that's exactly what North Melbourne want them to do because their runners in Stevens, in Bell and the other players there just hit the front of the pack along with Shannon Grant in front of Carey.
Carey plucks it out of there, does it beautifully. Wills onto the left foot. Back towards the head of the square. Up they go again. Someone's got to take a mark. They have for North Melbourne. It's a very good mark. Roberts. And Mark Roberts, from only 10 or 12 metres out, can have a shot for goal. They've spent a bit of petrol in the first few moments, North Melbourne. They only lead by 8 points, but a chance now to make the margin 14.
Yeah, well, this is one of the players drifting down there with all that space. You can go forward with a lot of confidence and with a bit of hard running, and a player of his size, he's always going to be a danger there. Mark Bickley just caught behind him and couldn't get a fist in there to spoil, and Mark Roberts has taken the mark and about to kick for North Melbourne's second goal.
Well, he's the oldest player on the ground, very experienced player. What's he done? I think he might have kicked the goal. He's pretty happy with it. Wait on the goal umpire. It is a goal, and North Melbourne have their third on the board. We've been playing 20 minutes of the first quarter, and the Foodland scoreboard tells us North Melbourne are 3-3-21. Adelaide are 1-1-7, and Billy, the entries into the 50 for both teams.
The Kangaroos 15 times, the Crows 5 times.
And boys, just when it looked like Adelaide was starting to get back into the game, North Melbourne replied with 2 quick goals, and that was Carey plucking it from the boundary throw-in high in the air. Roberts in front. Big body, just turned his body as it fell, took a chest mark in the end, but...
Interesting, isn't it, Graham? When good players get the ball, they almost mesmerise the opposition, and that's 3 times now Carey's gathered the ball and no one's physically gone to him because they know that he can break away from them anyway.
The bounce down, Pittman gets the thump away. A chance now for Abraham, getting many kicks. Will go short. Gee whiz, finds Roberts, got away from it and again up towards full forward. Hart and Scholl. Hart, almost the mark, spills out to Scholl. Scholl can come inside, but a great mark has been taken by Smart. Not paid, he's intercepted that, goes back. Not a good kick, and out there they find on this occasion a North Melbourne player.
King.
In the King. King now kicks a shocker back into the middle. Opportunity now for Goodwin. Gets the football. Long kick back towards centre half foot. Robin in front, can't take the mark. Chance once again for North Melbourne to come away. Great work by McLeod. Shows the handball. Goes to Tyson Edwards. Tyson Edwards kick.
coming back.
It's coming back with off hands. And through for a minus score. McCarthy put up the big fist and it came off hands. So North Melbourne 3-3-21. Adelaide are 1-2-8 on the Foodland scoreboard.
You may not be interested in the trivia, but that's the first behind that Tyson Edwards has kicked the shoes. Had 11 goals straight.
Oh, right, and the pace of McLeod was just shown there to pick up Byron Pickett, who was chasing the ball. McLeod was super quick.
Archer with a footy, kicked in, looked for McKernan, couldn't quite take it. The Crows have it right on the 50-metre line. And there'll be a ball up just inside their 50. Watching Nigel Smart and also Pike, it's almost as if Pike's tagging Smart.
No, I think what's happening is Nigel Smart is Pike is trying to drag Smart right out of the contest. Pike seems to me to be trying to play as wide as he possibly can.
Pickett went over the top and snared now by McLeod on the left boot, tries to angle it back, but the kick wasn't good. Almost marked there by Pickett. Here's a chance for the Crows to go forward. Looks like Ellen up Costa was up towards full forward. The mark's been taken by Blakey. So Blakey.
Poor kick, really deserved the build-up, really deserved much better than that.
35 metres on the run and missed by 10 metres.
So Adelaide a couple of chances they have wasted and they go to the far side. Up go the big men again on that occasion, Roberts. Now roving the crumbs is Tyson, somehow keeps it in. He's 40 metres out, kicks towards goal, he's kicked it, I think. James Tyson has kicked a magnificent goal. In fact, he's run out of bounds, is he?
No, he's going to do something the umpire's running.
He's run out of bounds just before we said he tried to keep it in. So a bad body blow there to Adelaide. It's a magnificent kick. Another things can really swing a game too.
Ball was just out.
Gee whiz.
His body momentum just couldn't allow him to swerve and hold it in.
3-3-21 North Melbourne. Adelaide are 1-2. Up go the ruckman again. Wren yet to get into the game really. Scott tried to take possession, couldn't do so. Robin quick hands now to McLeod. He's at centre half forward, angles it up towards James. Archer rock and rolled in. Jarman after the footy with his shadow. Blakey Jarman, he kicked the goal earlier this year and he's kicked another one.
That is brilliant.
Take two. He did that against North Melbourne in round 6 and he's made a copycat of that kick. And that's what they need on National Pharmacy's magic moment. It's Adelaide. They've got their second goal. It's 2-2-14. North Melbourne 3-3-20 on the margin, 7 points.
That is just absolute class there. His opponent was right on him, hugging the boundary. He had to turn on his left. He did it with so much confidence there in front of a good player in Blakey. Swerved around. Another North Melbourne player tried to take him out. Couldn't. He's put on his left foot and bang straight through the middle. Sensational goal, Darren Jarman.
Yeah, he did it early. You've seen it in all the highlights. It's just a matter of course for him, but he was under a lot more pressure that time.
Back in the middle of bounce down. 2-2-14 Adelaide. North Melbourne 3-3-21 McLeod getting a few important possessions. The Pepin gets the tap in towards Bell. Oh, Bell. Giellan went for him, missed him. Goes towards Roberts. Roberts towards goal. Oh, up towards. It's a bouncing football into the pocket. It goes and it bounces out of play. North Melbourne into attack. We've played almost 25 minutes into the first quarter of the 1998 AFL Grand Final, and it's North Melbourne by 7 points on the Foodland scoreboard. Ellery went for Bell. Then he got him. He would have put him into Tomorrowland.
Well, he just dangled the elbow out, Ken. It was a dangerous thing to do.
King off.
Takes the football, tries to get it away. As we see Freeborn coming on.
Now watch Freeborn. He's had the habit of just creeping in for 1 or 2 quick goals. A very skilled player. Might get under their guard.
No one's picked him up yet either. Forward. He's loose up there. Yeah. No one's noticed the change.
Allen's got on him now.
Shane Allen.
Tyson's actually will pick him up, I think.
Tyson's picked Pike up by the looks right down deep forward area.
The bounce down centre half forward taken by Pippin. Oh, gee, was the handballs. Poor goes to Harvey. He goes to Simpson around his body. Smart waits under the football. Can't take the mark. He's going to get a free kick, is he? Free kick to Nigel Smart. He was interfered with on the last line. The Adelaide defence has been under the pump, I can tell you, but they've played superbly back towards Ellen. He's the running player. With him is Freeborn, but the ball bounces out of play. Almost at centre wing in front of the great Southern stand. Terrific first quarter. 26 minutes in. Come on, Wilds.
What a year too that he's had, Nigel Smart. Tremendous year. I reckon Wayne Carey perhaps could have gone a bit harder than KG. He had a chance to really rock and roll him. Boundary thrown on the far side. The big men fly again. Pittman, who's been in the ruck in the last 10 minutes. It's a flurry of bodies over there too. Finally it gets clear as they go up towards Carey. Over the head of Carey. He's going to run back after it. Nigel Smart. Gathered Carey off the ground. Oh, what a magnificent goal. What a magnificent goal, Wayne Carey. You won't see better than that. We saw Jarman's at the other end. He's kicked that on the outside of his foot as he had Smart bearing down on him, and North Melbourne hit back hard. It's 4-3 to 2-2 the margin, back to 13 points on the Foodland scoreboard.
It was a magnificent performance. The ball went over the pack. Carey ran out at Nigel Smart, closing on him. He got his left boot to it.
His right boot, the outside of his right boot.
Outside, sorry, Russ, outside of his right boot, like a soccer player, and just controlled it.
Brilliant.
A lot of work to do that. He did it so well.
Good to see the class in both sides coming to the fore.
Bounce down. Pittman gets his hands to the football again. Opportunity. Now they try and work the ball away. Kicked off the ground by Freeborn. Goes to the outer side. The chase is on. Stevens has the football. Smart with him. Stevens still with the football. Concedes ground. Or look for Pike. Doesn't find him. He has time to recover, however. Has the football. Centre wing outer side. In front of the Great Southern Stand. Back towards half forward. Off hands. Johnson.
He's marked it.
At the second attempt. Gee whiz, this kid's cool under pressure. He is terrific. Kane Johnson can go short. He'll find Tyson Edwards on the defensive side of centre. Has the football. Now with the footy. Comes inside, goes short to Beckley. He's had a terrific first quarter. Beckley at centre half back. Plays on quickly. Comes towards Benny Hart. He's the running player. Shoulders with him. Hart has the best recovery. Takes the football. Goes to the handball. Gives it to Ellen. Ellen has a bounce right in front of the member stand. Kicks towards Hartford. To Wobbly. Kick over the head of McLeod. Over the head of everybody. Goes to Goodman. Go with a handball. James into an open goal. Can he kick a goal? I think he may have kicked for James. Has he? Yeah. That's the goal number 3 to Adelaide. They go to 3-2-20. North Melbourne 4-3-27. What a terrific game.
Right from the time Tyson Edwards switched it back into the middle, Mark Bickley had it. He got it out here to Hart and Scholl. They competed. Benny Hart recovered the best, and then a quick little handball to Shane Allen, who it looked as if it wasn't a real good kick, but it was just enough to float over and allow hands to get it. Ended up with Brady Jones, and he's run into kick the Crows' third goal.
Gee, Ben Hart's done some important things there on Scholl. I think for the third or fourth time he saved Adelaide. And the margin now back to 7 points. 28 minutes gone first quarter. The grand final, North Melbourne and the Adelaide Crows. Up they go, the big men. Pittman, second attempt, did very well. The quick kick on that occasion came from Harvey, but not too far. The bouncing ball, Pickett. He went straight and he went hard. Now a chance for McLeod. Somehow got a handball to Costa. Missed that player. This occasion, Harvey again up towards Carey. Running onto it is McKernan. If it sits, he's a chance. The big man takes it, lines him up and offline under pressure.
Well done, Benny
Great
Hart.
pressure by Ben Hart.
And not to give a free away was superb effort.
What a game Hart's playing.
Yeah, that's exactly what Dennis Pagan's been. There's a free kick to Ben Hart, is it? Or no?
No, it's got to be a point.
The North Melbourne forward line had all moved out. Carey was at centre half forward. The ball went in long, and it just allowed McKernan to run onto it. But gee, the effort from Ben Hart to close him down, put pressure on him, and spoil the kick was tremendous.
I reckon the National Pharmacy's magic moment. They lead by 8 points now, though. The ball with Darren Jarman. There's a high kick, penetrating kick. McKernan from the side, trying to fly, but Pittman. Aussie high line mark today to David. Oh, it had to be a mark.
Oh, Tyson Edwards is saying, give him a mark.
That was a clear grab to David Pittman. And in fact, I reckon McKernan touched it.
99,000 people paid it, but one didn't.
Ruckman again, it's Roberts, more of a ruck rover towards Stevens, who can't take it. Now they're running hard. Blakey looked like he might have hurt himself there. He comes out to Scott, the siren sounds. It's all happening here at the MCG, and at quarter time, North Melbourne lead 4-4-28. Adelaide are 3-2-20. The goal kickers Blakey, Carey, Robertson, Simpson for North Melbourne. Jarman, James and Rasciuto. And, well, very quickly, how'd you see that, Graham?
Frenetic first quarter. North Melbourne threw everything at them, but the Adelaide Footy Club was just able to settle and make them pay for the fact they didn't convert those 3 or 4 first behind. Then the change just slowly came over the game as Adelaide started to go forward. North Melbourne still had the ascendancy, but you'd have to say it's Adelaide's defence which has kept them in the game and kept them with 8 points. Adelaide can play much better. I'm not sure whether North Melbourne can. They've thrown just about everything at them. It's just that Adelaide now getting a bit more system when they go forward and having forward line players who can control the ball and score a bit more efficiency. Adelaide's done what they probably needed to do, withstand that initial charge of North Melbourne. Now the really serious stuff is going to start.
So at quarter time here of the 1998 AFL Grand Final, North Melbourne 4-4-28, Adelaide 3-2-20 on the Foodland scoreboard. This is Fiveaa Footy.